Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benefits Mom podcast. I am your host, Tara Nickel, and if you're looking to gain back your mom sanity, you are in the right place. We cover everything motherhood: kids, relationships, school, work, even that dreaded C word, chores. We cover it all. My goal is to help you take back control of your life and find that happy place as a mom. Because when it benefits mom, it benefits everyone. Enjoy this episode. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm excited to be sharing this episode for two reasons. One is I'm excited that I am doing my first Instagram 5-day challenge, talking all about the essential items you need to have in your car. So if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to head over to my Instagram at BenefitsMom and see what those items are and my short tips for you. I'll go through them real quick here. The 5 items that I have in my car that I think are just super essential are an emergency kit, spare tire, a little personal toiletry bag, pair of backup clothes, and your typical backup food, water, blankets. If you're on a road trip and you get stuck, you want to have these items. And I share a little bit of tidbits for you in quick videos on Instagram. And I had so much fun doing them. What I want to share with you today, and the second reason I'm excited for this episode, is what does packing your car for emergencies, how does that translate into the corporate world? Does that give us any insight into a colleague or a working mom that you are interviewing to come work for your company? And this is the second part that I'm excited to share with you, because a lot of times there are traits and habits and skills that you or I develop as a working mom that many people just take for granted. They are skills and traits that they presume a mom is supposed to know or supposed to learn, and it's a mom thing. So in this scenario, being prepared and thinking of all different items you'll need for a road trip, well, that's what a mom is supposed to do. Like, what does that have to do with my company or my team or my business? Like, where's the connection? And here's where I think a lot of people miss out when they're looking at working moms. Being prepared and thinking ahead of all possible outcomes is a fantastic skill to have as part of a team, right? If you're working on a project or a big marketing campaign, you want to know a lot of what ifs. You want to be able to make changes as you go or add in new ideas. Having a mom on the team who can provide that for you, who can give you all the what if this happens, okay, we will do this, or we need to make sure that Sally's on the team because Sally's really good at X, and that will help us address one of the what ifs. So that's really what brings out the skill into the corporate world, is the ability of the mom to look at the scenario, point to possible things that could happen, and get you prepared to address them. Going back to the car analogy, if you are driving with your family and you have a flat tire, but you have a spare tire in your car, then you are prepared for the tow truck to come and take your spare tire and put that tire back on your car. Now, you may have to wait for the tow truck, and that might be a variable, whether it takes them a half an hour to reach you or 2 hours. That might be a variable that you can't control. But because you have the spare tire and you've thought about that ahead of time, all you need to do is have the tow truck and the mechanic take your car, put the tire on, and you can continue with your trip. You don't have to necessarily try to get a rental car or rearrange what you were going to do originally because now you don't have your car. That scenario's gone. You've prepared for a slightly more positive outcome based on the fact that you have your spare tire in your car. Now, the other thing about being prepared and thinking of outcomes that are an important skill in the corporate world is just think about how often in a job description people are looking for someone that can problem solve, right? I've noticed that's a very overused phrase in job descriptions. But if you truly are looking for someone that can problem solve, then hiring a mom who's already used to thinking ahead, being prepared, thinking of possible outcomes. What's the best solution to a problem if I can't get the ideal result, right? That's important in the business world too, because you can't always reach the best solution that you want, or the best solution is not available for a number of reasons. I know I've had that happen to me back when I was working in a law firm. There are definitely times where the outcome that the client wants is just not feasible based on circumstances, the law, or some other variable. So when you have someone like a mom who can play out those scenarios and develop possible solutions or ways that you and your team can come to a solution that's, the second best option, then not only can you present that to the client, to a manager or supervisor, but it doesn't act so much like a closed door. The fact that you couldn't provide 100% of what the client needed, you got to 85, is better than not getting into 100, not giving the client anything, and then potentially losing that client because of that fact. So I thought it was really interesting to take something as simple as prepping your car for an emergency and saying, there's something here. There's value in the ability to think that through, think about the what ifs into the future and how that can help your team thrive and succeed. Because let's be honest, even though we're slowly coming out of COVID and businesses are starting to reopen and starting to hire people back or hire new people who have decided not to come back, having that skill set, that problem solving, that what if, being prepared, whatever words that make sense for the trait that we're talking about for your company, having someone on your team that can bring that is going to be really important, because there's going to be new problems that come up in your business that we just don't know, because we're going to have still some new normal adjustments that we're going to have to make. And the what ifs could start piling up for you and your team. By bringing on that mom who in her personal life has already done this, Even if it's on a smaller scale than what you need for your business, it's still going to bring so much more value to your team that was totally unexpected beforehand. I want to take a break real quick from this episode to let you know about my Benefits Mom Mastermind. This is an exclusive group of working moms that want to grow and succeed not only at their job or in their business, but in their personal lives as well. Instead of paying tons of money to get exclusive coaching and access to me, I decided to develop this group of amazing working moms to be able to support you and help you reach your balance. With the Benefits Mom Mastermind, I will be sharing with the group exclusive content and information that I am not sharing anywhere else on social media. It will be exclusive for those who sign up to be a member of the Benefits Mom Mastermind. And you can join this amazing group of moms for just $7 a month as a super benefits mom. That's right. Just $7 a month gets you exclusive content and access to me that will get nowhere else on social media. If you're looking for a little bit more access, you could become an awesome benefits mom and get access to an exclusive monthly group coaching call where I will go live and answer any questions or just allow you to have your 5 minutes of vent. And if you want more coaching with me one-on-one privately, you can become an elite benefits mom and get a 15-minute one-on-one call with me. So head over to www.benefitsmommastermind.com to sign up, and you can sign up for just $7 a month for that exclusive content and coaching. Let's get back to this episode. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, this all sounds great, Tara, but looking into the future, planning ahead, being detail oriented, being organized, that's not a skill that I have. Yeah, I'm a mom, but that's always a place where I falter, I forget things, whatever is going through your mind right now. And I can tell you that even if you're not there now, if the idea of putting together a list of what you will need in your car makes you more anxious than another person, that's okay. You can take small steps today to get to a point where when you're faced with a situation, simple tricks to get you to think about how can you better prepare for the situation now or in the future, and think about those what if scenarios. So my number one tip to get you started is to simply ask yourself, what if? Why does that help you prepare and think about outcomes? Because normally when you're presented with a problem or a project, or your child or your partner brought something up to you as a problem, it's always good to think about what if. And it could be something as simple as, what if I listen to this problem and I do nothing, right? If your child says that they have a project and they need to go to the store right now and get construction paper or a notebook or some supplies, and they need to do that tonight. Well, instead of freaking out and going into the chaos mode that, we don't want to be in as a mom, ask yourself, what if I do nothing? Now, I'm not suggesting that you actually do nothing. It's a first step to get you to think in this mode of, looking ahead in the future and seeing possible outcomes and how you can prepare yourself for them. So in this scenario, what if I do nothing? Well, if you do nothing and your child is not old enough to get himself or herself to the store, or does not have another parent or friend that can take them, then your kid is not going to finish that project. And there's going to be most likely consequences at school for not completing the project, which could have an effect on their grade. And the snowball keeps going. That could be something that's okay for you to install more personal responsibility depending on the age of your child. The other thing you could do is, what if we go to the store now, and while we are there, grab extras of the items we're buying, and on top of that, think about other things we might need in a pinch for school. So that could be poster board, that could be notebooks, extra pens, pencils, erasers. Look back at your child's school year on the projects that they've already done, and maybe there are items that you recall that you bought, like, oh, yep, you know what, they had that art project and I needed a couple of glue sticks. So I'll add glue sticks to the list on top of the other things that you're thinking of now. So even though you were not prepared for this incident, this moment where you needed school supplies, you are using this opportunity to prepare yourself for the next time. So that if in the future your child does come home and say that they need to do a project and need XYZ supplies, you can say as the mom, okay, great. You know what? That's in the closet, or that's in the office space, or wherever you've put it. And you've now prepared yourself for that situation. You don't have to leave the house. You don't have to go spend any extra money on supplies or take time away from your family. You prepared for the situation to happen. You have the supplies, and the problem is resolved to the best case it can be. Now, it's obviously going to be stressful or tense in the house trying to do a project at the last minute, right? So that's a variable that you can't control. Just like we mentioned earlier, the variable of if you're waiting for someone to come help you with the flat tire, or waiting for the tow truck, you don't know how long it's going to take. So that's the variable you don't know. But because you've planned ahead and prepared for the best possible outcome, in that scenario from earlier, you have the spare tire in your car, you now have made the situation's outcome as best you possibly can. So to recap, being prepared is a skill that translates tremendously into the corporate world for moms, and moms are able to look at scenarios, think about the what ifs, and prepare for those outcomes. And for any project, having someone on your team that has that perspective is so valuable. And if you have anyone on your team that is doing that for you and as a mom, you should definitely give her some kudos. If you are listening and you are working in an office, or you're a working mom and you don't have that skill as honed in as you would like, start by simply asking what if questions. And seriously, start by asking, what if I do nothing? Because doing nothing may be okay in certain circumstances, but it at least starts getting the wheels moving. What if I do nothing? Okay, that's not a great scenario. What if I do X? So in our example, we said, what if we went and bought extra supplies for my child? In the event this happens again, we don't have to rush back out and get supplies. I hope you all found this helpful and you are going to go stack up your cars with all the essential items that I talk about on Instagram, and you will play out your what if scenarios and become not only a super benefits mom, but a super colleague to all your friends and coworkers at your office. Have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks again for tuning in to the Benefits Mom podcast. If you have been enjoying these episodes, please share them with a fellow mom friend of yours and head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. And remember, if it benefits mom, it benefits everyone. Have an awesome day.